Man, glaring, huge repetitive issues, which is a good thing. It's a good thing you have just or two overarching mistakes, because as soon as you fix these mistakes, you're going to be so much better of a player. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another replay analysis on the channel. Today I'm analyzing a 2v2 game for Ringmaster, who submitted the replay to be analyzed. I almost said something wrong. But we are reviewing his replay that he submitted, and it is a 2v2 game. He's Diamond 1 and his teammate, who he is partied up with, is Diamond 3, he said. And I was gonna watch the video ahead of time and then take notes on how to best provide insight to what he should have done, but 30 seconds in and I've already noticed a lot of mistakes that are pretty easy to point out and pretty easy to talk about, so scratch that idea. We're just gonna do it live. Frick it, we'll do it live. But here we go. Let's get into the replay. First thing I noticed was you don't do a flip kickoff. This is the first kickoff I've seen all game, so maybe it's just maybe you messed up and you didn't want to risk flipping. We'll see in the future kickoffs. But you should definitely, you're Diamond now, you should definitely be learning how to do at least any sort of flip towards the ball on kickoff, followed by a second flip into the ball. It just gets you to the ball faster, and it increases your odds of winning the kickoff, because you can put more force into the ball and you get to the ball faster. So I would start learning the diagonal flip kickoff at this rank, and then because that transitions well into eventually learning the speed flip kickoff, because all you end up doing, the only difference is you cancel the diagonal flip on a speed flip kickoff. So one transitions well into the other. I would start learning how to do a diagonal flip kickoff. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to do that. Check them out, learn how to do it. Will help you out immensely, and you should definitely know how to do it in Diamond. And then second mistake I noticed is after the kickoff, your teammate gets possession of the ball. He hits it forward, and he also actually is able to beat the opponent to the mid boost as well. So your teammate pushes the ball forward and gets the mid boost, and you choose to go all the way back to your corner. That's a big mistake. You're not supporting your teammate. Now, if you lost the kickoff, it would make sense to go back because you need to defend. But because you won the kickoff and your teammate got the mid boost, which you could see before you made the decision to go all the way back to your corner, you want to instead, what you're going to want to do instead is just turn upfield. You don't need 100 boost, and grab some pads. Maybe you grab this pad on your way up. This pad will probably be spawned by the time you get there, and you'll have about 36 boosts sitting in the midfield in case your teammate is able to center this ball in front of the goal. Now, I mean, it pretty much does. That was a possible shot on net. Don't want to overcommit, of course, but if you would have picked up pads and came upfield to support your teammate, you could have possibly had a scoring opportunity. So if you get possession of the ball and the boost off of kickoff, even if your teammate doesn't get that mid boost, if he gets the ball moving this way and it looks like he has the ability to at least get a 50 or another touch afterwards, you want to push up field, push up with pads and support him, instead of going all the way back to your corner, which pretty much as soon as the ball is out of your teammate's possession, then they're on the attack and you're defending by yourself. Okay, and another thing I noticed was this was a good play for you to keep pressure. That was a good ball for you to go for. You decided to turn away, and that's just a little bit too passive from you. Because if you check this out, right, he makes this clear, he jumps, he flips, and he's landing on the wall, and this is bouncing off the wall. All you have to do is position your car right here, and the ball is going to land on you before he can even get there, right? He's challenging, obviously, but all you have to do is position your car here. You can flip into it and push it over here. At that point, you're past both players. If he sees you waiting there, he probably isn't going to go in the first place. But if he does, then you've beat him. If he pushes forward, you've beat him and you now have an open net. So there was no reason for you to turn away here. He hits the ball. He's not going to be able to get to this ball before you if you just wait on it here. And that was a really good opportunity for you to keep pressure. And again, you don't have to flip into this. Even in, you know, as you get better, you can find ways to keep control of the ball while also maintaining pressure. If you'd have just sat here and just caught the ball on your hood, or just drove into the ball slightly and it would have just popped over this guy, would have been out of his reach. And again, you have better control of the ball versus flipping into it. But either way, even if you chose to flip into the ball, it would have been better than just abandoning the ball entirely there. And then this next play is the last play that I watched. So quite the opposite this time. The last ball, nobody was in the vicinity to challenge you, but you decided to leave it. This time, the opposing player was exactly where the ball was going to land. All he has to do in order to save this ball or get it past you is jump, and he hits the ball past you. But for some reason, this ball you choose to go for. So mixed up decision making on the last two plays. This was a bad ball to go for. The last one was actually the correct ball to go for because nobody could challenge you. It was a free ball. This one, all he has to do is double jump if he hears you coming, if he sees you coming, and the ball's past you, and then your teammates, you know, in their net still, they possibly counterattack you and score. So this was the wrong ball to go for because the opponent was already there, ready to make the touch. And even if you try to shoot this, you know, at best you're going to get a 50-50. So choose your challenges and, you know, choose when to play passive, when to play aggressive a little bit better. I'm not exactly sure what made you decide that was the ball to go for versus the last one, but it was a little mixed up in your decision making. Okay, my fault. This was actually, we're 34 seconds into the game and I'm pointing out this is like the fourth thing now. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but these are all pretty easy things for me to point out, and also pretty easy things for you to adjust and correct. So I think these will definitely help you out here. Now watch this. Ball pinches across your net. You decide to jump, but really there was no need to jump because that ball was never in a scoreable position. It's flying across your net really quickly. Where this guy's at, he's never going to be able to get to that ball in time to score it. And even if he does, even at like, I'm at GC2, and this would be a hard ball for people to score from this position to get up here fast enough to be able to just maybe 50 this with the post into the net, right? There's a very, very, very small chance, especially at your rank, that he's going to score that. So instead of jumping and wasting your time and wasting your positioning, going for that, if it's not a dangerous ball, if there's no chance of somebody scoring it, don't even waste your time going up for it. Just instead what you could have done was realize, okay, he can't score that. So instead, I'm just going to get ready to either play the next 50-50 or go collect the ball, right? Drive out of the net and go catch this for a dribble, go push it up the wall, grab that boost, go, you know, do something, continue the play from there. But because you jumped there for a ball that wasn't dangerous to begin with, it wasted a lot of time and so you couldn't get to that ball in time to challenge it. This is a good ball to go for. Obviously didn't hit the shot, but when I do my replay analysis, I don't like to point out mechanical mistakes or anything like that. Unless it's something really small that I can fix really quickly for you. But that was just shot accuracy. Work on that air roll. I don't know if you have air roll bound, air roll left or right, or regular air roll. You should definitely have regular air roll and at least one directional air roll bound. That way, I have all three bound, left, right, and regular, but a lot of people, most people just have regular air roll and left or right bound. And just using air roll would give you the ability to wrap around that ball more and, you know, hit tighter angles. So that shot was definitely scoreable, but when you took it, I didn't see an ounce of air roll in it. So without air roll, that shot was nearly impossible to score. But with air roll, that was a very, very scoreable ball. So if you're not using air roll, you're going to want to start practicing air roll. Oh, that's a beautiful bump from your teammate. Let's see that again. Teammate gets a really good 50. He's getting harassed from behind, but just absolutely destroys the defender. Sets you up really nicely, and I'm glad you were there for that. One thing I do want to point out here as well, when you're grabbing the corner boost on a kickoff, instead of turning upfield like you do here, you see how you turned out towards the opponent's goal? What you want to do instead is actually turn the opposite direction. Turn towards defense. Turn defensively when you grab a corner boost. Because if they cheat up, or even if they don't cheat up, if it's a dead ball kickoff and this ball lands right in front of the person who does kick off, or he cheats up and then they have a free shot on net, if you are over here and you turn up this way, 99% of the time you're not going to be fast enough to get back before they can shoot it on target. Happens a lot. Even to me, it's a habit I need to break as well. I have it a lot because most of the time nobody really wants that dead ball kickoff, especially when their teammate isn't cheating up. But sometimes it happens even when you don't want it to. So you need to be prepared for that, and you should always turn defensively rather than offensively when you're grabbing this corner boost. So instead of turning upfield when you grab corner boost on kickoff, turn back this way. And then if there is a dead ball kickoff and they cheat or they're about to shoot on the net, you actually, I'd say probably 75% of the time, you can get back in time. Unless they have like a perfect shot to the far post, most of the time you'll be able to get back in time. Nice 50-50, nice challenge game. Okay, I don't know if you were trying to take control here or if you were leaving it for your teammate because you just feel like he's maybe better on offense than you. But this ball, I would definitely go for on this bounce. I think you could have got there to catch this ball in time. It's kind of close to say, but even if you can't get there in time, what you can do is actually just drive up and take a soft touch off the sidewall to set yourself up for a dribble from there. So if you can't get to this ball before it hits the ground, right, and you don't want to miss it, and you also don't really just want to come up and bang it off the sidewall, because then he gets a free ball, he gets a free touch going back your way. So what you could have done if you can't catch this ball is actually just come up and maybe just single jump into it lightly, hit it with your wheels lightly. Even if you have to roll it up the wall, that's probably the least favorable thing you want to do, because at your rank, you're not really going to have a good play off the wall. It kind of takes a little bit more mechanical skill to make good plays off of the sidewall. And at this rank, I don't really expect you to have that mechanical skill. So what optimally you could have done was come up and take just a light touch off the sidewall. It bounces off the sidewall and is still closer to you than it is your opponent. So he can't challenge you, or if he does challenge you, you can just play it past him. You can flick him, you can take a 50 and your teammate can come clean up. But that's going to be the best way for you to keep possession of this ball and go on the attack. And you really don't have time to wait for the ball to bounce and then start a dribble, right? That looks like either you tried to do that or you were just leaving it for your teammate to start a dribble, but you don't have time to wait for one more bounce here, because this guy's landing behind you. And in 2v2, one of the most common things is when your opponent has the ball for a dribble and you're rotating back behind them, you always go for the bump on your opponent to help your teammate out. So as soon as if you were to try to catch this on this next bounce, he's going to instantly start to harass you, right? We'll probably see it right here. He doesn't, but he should have. He should have been harassing your teammate to give your opponent a free ball. So you don't have time to wait for that to bounce again, because your opponent's landing behind you and he's going to start harassing you as soon as he turns around. So because of that, you needed to make the play on the first bounce. Whether you could catch that or not, it's hard to say for sure, but even if you can't catch it, bounce it off that sidewall lightly so you can follow it up. But even at the worst, you roll it up the sidewall and, you know, go from there. But that was probably the least optimal play, to roll it up the sidewall, because you just don't have the mechanical skill to really make anything meaningful happen in that position. I like your positioning here, defending the net, because that's definitely something he can put on target there, or put at least in a threatening position from where he was at. But at this point now, this is your ball. Again, playing a little bit too passive. You got a lot of open space. It looks like your teammate is very aware that you're playing passively, and he's taking the ball in positions where he shouldn't. That's maybe okay right now, and especially because you're partied up and you're communicating that and you know each other's play style and whatnot. But ideally, you want to be taking the ball when it's your ball and be confident and make a play, because you need to rotate around each other. You both need to be able to do offensive things. You both need to be able to do defensive things. You can't just let your teammate take the ball for offense every time. You both need to take turns rotating, because that's not going to work if you want to keep ranking up. And then I'd say so far your biggest mistakes are just playing too passively, playing too slow and too passively, not keeping pressure when you can, or just not going for balls that are your ball to go for. That's one big issue I've seen so far. And the next one is going to be keeping possession. You know, in the same aspect, the same has to do with the last point of playing too passive. Keeping possession goes hand in hand with that. Like, on a lot of your plays where you think you shouldn't challenge, you actually can challenge and you'll keep possession. And then on top of that, there's certain ways you can hit the ball to keep possession better. So for here, you have no reason to go up for this ball in aerial. All you're doing when you hit this ball forward is you're giving it to your opponent, right? What are you doing if you hit this ball? Bam. Okay. So now, my mistake. So now you hit this ball. And okay, he's like, all right, thanks for the free ball. And he mistouches it. But more often than not, he's not going to hit it backwards. So all you did there, let's take a look at this again, right? Look how far back he is. Look at your ringmaster. You have time to let this ball come down and catch it, and then flick this guy, or he'll turn and shadow defend, and then you can dribble him. You know what I mean? You can make a 1v1 play. But instead, you hit the ball, and this should be just a free touch for himself. But he botches it. Most of the time though, especially if you are trying to rank up, if this was your teammate who you said was Diamond 3, he's probably not going to botch this touch. So instead, what you should have done there, realize he's super far back. You have a lot of time. Just let this ball come down to the ground and catch it. And then start a dribble. Start a 1v1. Or if this guy comes to harass you, Tim the Ninja, then you flick it early, or you double jump, try to pop it over him and stay with the ball. You know, there's a lot of different plays you can make, or you can even, you know, if you start practicing your sidewall gameplay in free play and in training packs and stuff like that, you start learning how to air dribble, you start learning how to pass off the sidewall, or just start getting solid touches off the sidewall. You can even take this ball up the sidewall if you want to. But ideally there, you would have caught that ball on your hood and been in a position where you could flick over this guy. Okay, here, you need to rotate out. You made your touch, you hit it forward, nothing came of it. Your opponent hit it back the way you were coming. You know, you hit it forward, your opponent hit it back. So now you need to rotate out. This is your teammate's ball. He should be behind you. He gets a free touch on this ball because all you did was hit it forward, but thankfully all your opponent did was hit it right back to you. So now it's just a game of possession right now. Who wants to actually take control of the ball and keep it close and go on the attack? Well, now this is your teammate's opportunity to do that. But instead, you turn right back into the play. And if your teammate's smart, he's going to see that and he's going to be a little hesitant to go for this ball. Now, thankfully, he knew you weren't going to touch it. But solo queue teammates aren't going to make that assumption a lot of the time, or, you know, your opponent will be close enough to punish both of you being in this position. If either of them was closer to this ball and they could take a 50 and they end up winning the 50 or getting any sort of favorable 50-50, You're both covering the same part of the field. Nobody's rotated back to defense because you rotated back into the play instead of rotating out away from the ball, right? After you made your touch, you should have rotated away from the ball when it was coming back this way, rotated back out in a circular formation, and you would have been following up your teammate. But if they would have got that ball past you guys in that corner right there, nobody would have been back and you guys would have got scored on. And look at, see your teammate or your opponent even hit the ball right back in the direction that where you would have been if you would have rotated correctly, right? You would have been swinging out from midfield, coming this way, and bang, he would hit the ball and you would have had another free touch, probably off the sidewall, and you would have been still on offense. But just because you rotated incorrectly, you turned back into the play after you already made your play on the ball, you lost your offensive pressure. Again, occurring theme in this game, trying to keep possession. Now, again, I understand you're only diamond 1. Not every touch is going to be perfect. You don't really want to wait for the dribble here because that guy could bump you, or he could just go for the ball and dunk you into your net. So it is the right play to go up and get a touch on this ball. It is the right play to go up for this ball. But again, you can hit this much softer to keep it closer to you and start, get another touch on the ball, get another play going, rather than just hitting the ball straight to your opponent and he gets a free touch afterwards. Or you could have hit this ball straight ahead towards the boost, so that way you can use your momentum from your flip to also land on the boost and also be following the ball to possibly get another challenge on the ball. When it said that touch, it just wasn't ideal, wasn't great. And because of that, your opponent got to hit the ball back towards your half for free. Again, you're playing pretty passive. Again, the biggest takeaway so far, you're playing too passive. You're not going for balls that you should go for in order to keep pressure. And you've had a couple of plays where you could have kept possession, but instead you just hit the ball straight to your opponent and they hit it back at you. Here, your opponent or your teammate gets the ball past your opponent, but he also gets bumped back. Because he gets bumped back, you know he's going to be back behind you. You can actually rotate in for this ball. What I would have done is do a diagonal flip. Again, if you learn how to do a speed flip, even better, towards that boost. Go steal their boost. Go steal their resources. Stealing boost, stealing resources is super key in 2v2 and 3v3 and 1v1, and actually in all of Rocket League, because obviously it's harder to play when you don't have boost. So if you can steal your opponent's boost whenever possible without overcommitting, without being out of position, you always want to do that. And if you were to speed flip or diagonal flip even just at this boost, you'll actually be able to get to that boost and be in a threatening position to 50-50 that ball, or even just to play the ball past your opponent, or because maybe your opponent sees that you're on that boost at this point pretty much. He might actually not even immediately go for this ball. You might actually have time to make a play because he might be a little scared by your presence and he might actually choose to defend instead of push that ball. So in this situation, I definitely would have pushed for that corner boost because it would have put you also in a good position to challenge that ball. And again, your teammate would have been behind you because he got bumped back. So he would have been on defense. You had the freedom to go challenge that, go steal that boost. Do I be that nitpicky? You're only time. I know. But hey, this is going to be a video you can come back to probably and get tips from, or at least I'm going to make it that way. You can come back and get tips from probably all the way to Grand Champ. You could watch this video and use these things I'm saying and they will apply pretty much all the way to Grand Champ. Even in Grand Champ, people still make these mistakes. But here, I mean, you should notice patterns on the field that lead you to big boosts. So that way, you can actually leave your ball cam on in some situations to grab boost. Like if you notice on this map, right, and on most maps, I think probably all maps, this middle path leads to both boosts. So without even having ball cam off, if you're looking this way, but you stay within these tiles on the floor, you know you're on the path to big boost. So you actually never have to take your eyes off of the play. By the time you get to this boost, you would have seen, oh, I can actually turn this way and go pressure the ball. Because you had ball cam off, you have no idea what's going on over there. And so you turn defensively just in case they're pushing the ball your way. But again, if you had ball cam on and just followed this path out of the corner of your eye to the big boost, you would have seen, oh, they don't have possession of this. I can come push this. And same thing when you're rotating back, maybe to your corner and you have ball cam on, right? You're looking this way, you're watching the play, but all you do is you follow this line. You follow this line, you make sure you're pathing over this line while you're watching the play, and it's actually gonna lead you straight into this big boost. So notice those things. Every map has them. Every map has like some sort of pattern that actually leads you straight to the boost. So if you can get good at leaving your ball cam on when you go to grab boost, now not every time, even I turn off my boost, or I turn off my ball cam to grab boost sometimes. But if I am, you know, rotating back and I know that they probably are going to have possession of the ball, it's going to be very advantageous for me to watch what they're doing while I'm rotating back and know where the ball is, know how they're setting up their play, knowing if they're already pushing, if they're already about to shoot, versus grabbing this, coming to net, and then turning on my ball cam and seeing, oh crap, they're actually already shooting the ball. You know what I mean? So being able to keep your eye on the play as much as possible is going to be super advantageous. Just that's a pretty somewhat advanced tip, but at the same time, it's not hard to do. It's just something that people don't really think about until they get to like Grand Champ. Really, it's not that it's like an advanced hard thing to do. It's just not really, you know, nobody really thinks about it. You might get scored on here. Let's see what happens. So again, you turn defensively, and because of that, you missed your opportunity to push. Teammate could have done better there, but we're not analyzing your teammate. We're analyzing you, and the big takeaway there was that you missed your opportunity to challenge, and then you just lost to 50 pretty poorly. Pretty bad 50-50 there. You'll get better 50-50s over time, though. Obviously, what you did wrong there was you just hit the ball straight into your opponent. Yeah, don't do that. All right, so now we finally see, because it's our second kickoff of the game now. Okay, you don't do any sort of flip on your kickoff. You need to learn how to diagonal flip kickoff for sure. And again, we see recurring theme, just giving away possession. Why are you hitting that? What's are you trying to go for a pinch here or something? Not the play in this position, right? You could have just kept possession of that. You could have drove into this, get a little pop off the front of your hood, and you probably could have got that mid boost as well if you did that. And then you would have been in control of the ball, fully boosted up on offense. But you hit it away from yourself, and your opponent gets a free touch on the ball. Lots of recurring themes here. Lots of recurring themes. Okay, I'm sorry I'm pointing out so much. I hate to point out so many mistakes because it might make you feel bad. I hope it's not making you feel bad, but you should have grabbed this boost, right? Your teammate's not going to need that corner boost with where he landed. He's going to rotate behind you. If he rotates to the corner for that boost, that's a bad rotation. He shouldn't be rotating that way anyways. And you know you've got both your opponents behind you. So again, this is 2v2. They're going to chase you down. They're going to try to harass you. And by you not taking this boost, you're giving it to your opponent. That's all that's happening here. You not taking this boost, it's not for your teammate. You're not saving it for your teammate. Your opponent is going to get this boost. And because they get this boost, they now can attack you even more. They can harass you even better. And they can possibly keep their offensive pressure even better. So you should have put a little bit more effort. Obviously your flip wasn't perfect for following up to this boost, which it could have been. Try to go for a little bit better of a flip to land on that boost, but when you landed, you still could have turned real quickly to grab that boost And you might have had to dodge a demo, you might have had to jump really quick or something, but you at least wouldn't have given the boost to your opponent. A bit of a, what's the word? Optimistic dunk to go for. And you shouldn't have gone for that dunk is what I'm trying to get at. Very low chance of you actually getting that dunk. All you really did was throw yourself out of the play, make it take longer for you to get back. It's actually not a bad touch. Your teammate gets to follow it up on that side of the field afterwards. Pass to your teammate. That's actually a good touch. Good job. And then bam, that's a scoring opportunity. Close. Good try. Good try. I'm glad you were there for that and that you noticed that was a shot you should go for. Indeed. That was a good sequence of events. Let's take another look at that. You know, point out some goods rather than just all bads, right? This was a really good sequence of events. So here, I really like that you hit this towards that side of the field because your teammate's over there. He grabs your back corner, or if he doesn't need to, he just immediately turns on this. And, you know, he could have hit that ball. They faked each other out. But either way, you kept possession of the ball on that play because you led your teammate into a position where he can follow up your touch. And then, instead of just hitting this brain dead to nowhere, you actually hit this towards your teammate. Another good touch. Your teammate gets possession, he sets you up, and you could have scored that. But I'm really glad that you were there for that, and it was a really good sequence of events that actually set that play up for you guys. So see the power of just making sure your touches keep possession, hit it to your teammates all the time. Every touch should either be to yourself or to your teammates or a shot on target. That's what I say all the time. Keeps things really simple. Every touch should either be to your teammates, it should be a pass, or it should be a shot, or it should be, you know, a pass that also categorizes a pass to yourself. So a pass, or a pass to yourself, or a shot. And if you can't get a shot, at least a touch that, you know, creates pressure. So no meaningless touches. Pass or shoot. Pass or shoot. Shots create pressure that either you're going to score or it's going to put your opponent in an awkward position to have to go for a save, and it creates an opportunity for them to mess up. And pass to keep possession, pass to yourself to keep possession. Those are kind of just a key rule to high level Rocket League. Every touch should be a pass or a shot, or a pass or something that keeps pressure, puts pressure on your opponents. That was really close. What a save. Again, just like when you were in that earlier, this is just a wasted movement. There was no, like, what was the point of jumping and backflipping here? You weren't going to hit this, right? Just jumping and backflipping, you're not going to hit that, and it's not on target. So instead, just take the time to turn around, reverse, or not reverse, but just do a loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool, and hit the ball. Don't waste your time making unnecessary movements. Damn, your teammate's saucing them up, dude. Is trying to slice and dice them. Slice and dice him. Oh my god, what a shot. I looked away for a second. Let me see this again. This is actually a super risky challenge because your teammate's still not fully rotated back to defense and you're throwing yourself at the play where your opponent's actually in a really good position to beat you here. If your opponent actually just hits this ball to your right side or to his left side, one, this is cleanly past you, and if he does it well enough, he actually can just hit this, bounce it off the sidewall, and then just shoot on an open net behind you. So again, choosing your challenges poorly. Your opponent was closer to the ball than you, so you just shouldn't have gone for this, especially because your teammate hasn't rotated back to defense yet behind you. If you're last man like you are, you got to be really safe with your challenges. because obviously nobody's behind you. If the ball gets past you, it's most likely a goal. And to top it off, you barely had any boost. So after this challenge now, it's going to take you forever and a half to rotate back to defense because you have no boost. If you really wanted to put a little bit of pressure on your opponent there to make him throw away the ball, you could have just drove forward and then drove immediately backwards, a fake challenge. But even that option wasn't great because, again, you didn't have much boost. If you would have used a little bit of boost to fake challenge, you almost would have been on empty again by the time you turned around. So right there, instead, what I would have done, good job picking up these pads though. Right here, I would have just immediately turned to defend. If that mid boost is up on your way back, turning to defend, make sure you grab it so you boost starve your opponent, or at least keep as much boost away from your opponents as possible, so that way their attack is less threatening. And again, you could probably grab your corner boost as well, and then just shadow the play from there, shadow the net. You don't have to grab your corner boost. It's very situational what you would do in that play, but throwing yourself at that ball was not the play because you were last man, and there was a really good chance they play that around you and score. Uh-oh. Little bit of mispositioning from you. You could have right, what are this guy's options here? His options are hit the ball off the sidewall, in which case it bounces towards mid, which if he hits it high off the sidewall, you're in a pretty good position for it, right? If he hits it high, if he hits it up here, bam, it's gonna come towards you. You're in a pretty good position for it. But if he does anything else, if he hits it, rolls it up this wall, you're not in position for it. If he does this, you're not in position for it. What you could have done instead was just swing out a little wider, right? Knowing that those are his options. And you would have been in position for anything that happened. If you were here, he goes up the wall, bam, you can go up and challenge. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat I had to get rid of. But yeah, if you're in this position rather than where you're at, you're in position for anything that happens. If he makes this touch, bam, you're in position for it. If he hits it low off the sidewall, bounces out middle, bam, you're in position for it. Would have been just better positioning. That wasn't super bad. I, might make that mistake myself in your spot, in your position. But just pointing out as much as possible, give you as much information as I can possibly give you. You want to try to be in position, be in the best position possible to cover as many options as possible. Dang, we got overtime. I don't know who wins this. I think you lose. I think you said you lost. Again, with the ball cam, turn. You can turn your ball cam off for kickoff. There's not really a great path that'll lead you to the boost off kickoff, but you'll get better at it just with muscle memory. But line yourself up with the boost and then turn your ball cam back on. Like right now, you could already have your ball cam turned back on, see what's happening. And this time you turned defensively. Good job. See what would have happened if you turned offensively there? Your opponent might actually just have an open net. So good job turning defensively that time. Oh man, you gotta boost starve, man. You gotta boost starve a little bit more. You gotta put more priority in grabbing boosts when you can. Like this, you could have took this boost. I would have took this boost if I were you. Because again, your opponent's behind you. Especially this guy, he's gonna rotate back, right? Eventually, there's a good chance he comes back straight down the same path you're headed. So don't give him that boost. Take that boost. Don't let him get 100 boosts for free. Take that shit. Bam. You can get this boost and then make the play on the ball. Bam, get that boost. In case this play doesn't work out, then at least you're in a better position because you boost starve your opponents. But now if this play doesn't work out, you've given your opponents plenty of resources to work with. So take the opportunity when it's there to boost starve your opponents. And see, now this time you had to go back and grab that boost because you wanted to boost starve your opponent now. But if you would have grabbed it before, you wouldn't have had to grab it now, and you would actually just be able to play this ball. Because you just made a bad decision in the moment, it came back and bit you in the butt. Again, possession play, hitting the ball away from yourself for no reason. What is that? That's a free touchdown for your opponent. Your opponent was slow, so he didn't get there. But man, you gotta focus on keeping possession. Don't hit the ball away from yourself for no reason. That was better. That was better. You forced the 50-50 if nothing else. You didn't just give your opponent a free ball, a free hit back to your end. You at least took a 50-50. Are you lagging now at this point? Oh no. Oh no, this isn't how the game ends, is it? No, dude, the lag. You're gonna lose because of this lag. Oh, that sucks. That sucks, man. Obviously can't comment on that. Buy some better internet. But man, glaring huge repetitive issues, which is a good thing. It's a good thing you have just one or two overarching mistakes, because as soon as you fix these mistakes, you're going to be so much better of a player. So don't look at this as a bad thing that you've got a mistake that you're constantly making. Look at it as a good thing, because this is the biggest issue. These are the biggest issues with your gameplay. Once you get these sorted out, you're going to be in so much better of a position, and it's better than having 10 different. It's better to have 2 or 3 constant issues than to have 10 different small issues, right? Because all you have to do is fix 2 or 3 things and bam, you're good to go. So biggest issues, I'm sure you know by now. Keeping possession of the ball. Don't make pointless hits towards your opponent. Somebody who's constantly talks to people about this, if you want another good YouTuber to watch, Flakes. He's a pro player, pro Rocket League player. He will be the hardest critiquer of people who hit the ball away from themselves for no reason. Great guy to watch, super smart player, and he would be great for you to watch on YouTube to learn more about not hitting the ball away from yourself for free. Because you constantly did. You constantly hit the ball away from yourself for no reason. No reason. You just give the opponent a free touch going back your way. Second big mistake. What was the second one? Being too passive, just choosing when to challenge incorrectly. A lot of the times you had the opportunity to keep pressure without, you know, it wasn't really a risk for you to go for the ball, and you just chose not to go for it, and you just gave up the possession. You gave up the pressure. And then other times it was super risky for you to go, and there wasn't a clear opportunity for you to keep possession or to keep pressure, but you chose to go for those balls. So really work on your decision making of when it's safe to go for a challenge, or when you should go for a challenge, when you need to keep pressure, or when you can keep pressure. Just put in more hours. That's something that'll come with a little bit more practice, and also just being a little bit more observant of what's going on. If your teammate is rotating behind you, if your teammate's back on defense, that's probably a good sign that you can challenge, or at least fake challenge, and then rotate out. But a lot of the time, probably just challenge. If your teammate's behind you, backing you up, he should be covering, you know, the net. And if you get beat, or if you don't win the 50-50, it's okay, because you have somebody behind you. Just get back to help them as soon as possible. And then just smaller mistakes, you know, make sure you're boost starving your opponents when you can, and learn how to diagonal flip kickoff, learn how to speed flip kickoff after that. And those are really the big mistakes that I saw this game. You look like any other Rocket League player. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're playing Rocket League, man. And people, until they get these mistakes pointed out, they'll make the same exact mistakes you're making. You just need somebody to tell you what mistakes you're making, and you can work on them. And that's what we did here today. So good luck, man. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If any of you watching did learn something, leave a like on the video, subscribe for more future content, follow me on Twitch. The link is down below. Join the Discord. We've got a great community of people joining the Discord all the time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.